Hello all, and welcome to tonight's beer review. Haven't been feeling too well lately, but you know, I like to do beer reviews. They're a great way to relax and make me feel better about things. And you know, it's what I do. It's kind of become the highlight of my week to go and review beers, which is maybe not a good thing, but it's a thing that exists. If I may use some retarded millennial parlance. So, tonight, in my quest to review all local beers, we will be sampling Mehana Hawaiian Crow Porter. Now, Mehana, as I've mentioned before, is the brewery located on the east side of the Big Island in Hilo. They're partnered, joint, I'm not exactly sure of the official status, but they are connected with Hawaii Nui, which makes my favorite local beer, Hapa Brown Ale. I haven't been too well impressed with most of their other offerings, and I'm just going to give you a little sampler today. I'm going to be honest, this was probably my least favorite out of all their stuff. Which is kind of sad because, you know, I like the name Hawaiian Crow Porter. It's a pretty nifty name, and it's got a nice little picture of a Hawaiian crow playing the ukulele. Hawaiian crow is critically endangered and most likely will be going extinct within the next 20 to 30 years because the genetic pool has dropped below the level where the species can be sort of hand cultivated back into existence. It's simply too much inbreeding at this point. Which is kind of sad because they're a very interesting crow species. They're slightly smaller than the American crow, and instead of cawing, they have a very odd, warbling kind of liquid song that they do instead of caw, caw, caw. So, that's life, though. That's life. So, onward to the beer, which I'm going to open very carefully because, like all of Mehana's beers, this one has a problem with overcarbonation. Doesn't fail, no matter what, you're going to get splashed when you pour. Shit, and your pour is going to get splashed too. Excuse me, I want to go and wipe that up before it dries. So, this one actually poured out fairly tamely. It is very nicely colored for a porter. Sort of a dark ruby brown. Well, actually, I would say more of a dark brown ruby. It's definitely more towards the brown side in the coloration, with a tan, frothy head. The nose is not very perceptible. Mostly of dark grains. Small hints of chocolate and coffee. And oddly enough, CO2 from the heavy carbonation. Well, not oddly enough, but unsurprisingly. This I've let warm up for about 20 minutes. This is not very good cold. You don't really taste much of anything cold. Very light-bodied for a porter. The predominant note is what I consider to be a very off note for a porter. It's this sort of tart citric sourness. It doesn't go well with the dark malts. It's overpowering the dark malts, in fact. There's some coffee roastiness up front. And probably the sole nice note of the beer is the there's a very nice toasted bread, fresh toasted bread taste in the finish. Not really much hopping at all. The reason why I let it get so warm is because that's the only way you can really taste or smell the dark malts, which should be the premier for this kind of beer. Unfortunately, warming it means that the trade-off is that the body appears even weaker and waterier than it already is. There's really not much else to say along the lines with this beer. This is probably the first craft beer I've really kind of top to bottom panned. I really feel bad because it's a local company and I feel I should be supporting a local company. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because some of the earlier reviews from years ago were much better. It sounded much more on point towards the style. And, I want to see this company succeed. One, because they do make my favorite local beer. Local, easily had beer, Hoppa Brown Ale. And I'm just kind of sad. I've tried almost all their other offerings, except for one. I still have to go and try the Sunset Amber, the Sunset Golden Ale, which I will do in the future. And to the point, they've ranged from okay, drinkable, like the Southern Cross Belgian style red ale, Belgian style ale, the Volcano Red Ale, to kind of meh, which was the red ale, and I forget the other one that I had, to something like this, which is like, ugh. And like I said, I'm very sorry to be panning a local beer, but they really need to go and get their canning issues down. And, if this is, an off batch, kind of get that product line in order. I'm willing to go and try them on draft. I will try them on draft. I do support them as a local brewer. I really hope that they improve on these problems with their canning. And perhaps with the off flavor profiles, maybe there might be something going on in the brewing process. So that's your beer review for tonight, folks. Mehana Hawaiian Crow Porter. Nice name, nice can art. Great local company. Just kind of, you guys need to focus on the beer a bit more, especially get those carbonation problems down. That's all, folks. That's your beer review for tonight. Cheers.